Hey kids, here is our lesson on cursive basics. We're going to look at some of the basic strokes that you make in all cursive letters so that we can just kind of become familiar with those and learn how to make them. If you don't have this worksheet, you can go ahead and click the link down below in the description and you can grab yourself a copy so we can get started. Okay, the first thing we want to talk about with cursive is that when you write in cursive, you tilt the paper. So if you are right-handed like I am, you're going to tilt the paper to the left so that the right corner is higher and the left corner is lower. That way, when you're writing, the edge of the paper is going in line with your arm. And cursive slants to the right, so it's just a more natural movement. If you have the paper straight up and down like this and you're trying to make it slant, then you're going to end up having your hand bent in kind of a funny way. If you're left-handed, you're going to tilt the paper to the left so that the left corner is higher. And then when you're writing, you will have the line of your arm in line with the edge of the paper. So this first stroke that we're going to learn is called the down curve. So you're starting higher and you're going down and it's going to curve a little bit. So you're going to start on this midline here and you're just going to curve a line down. And that's the down curve. Seems pretty simple. Now you'll connect it to other strokes and it'll make complete letters. But this is going to be the stroke that you use to make any kind of curved letter. So if you're making an A or a C, this would be the stroke that you would use. So it would be connected with other strokes to make a rounded shape. So it's pretty easy. You're going to start just on this midline and curve a line down. And then you can also start on this top line and curve a line down. This is actually how you make a capital A in cursive. It's a curved line like this, or a capital C in cursive, and even some lowercase letters use a line similar to this. So that is a down curve starting from the top line and going down. And then what I also want us to do is code these with different colors. So when we learn a new letter, we'll always code the different strokes with different colors just so that we can kind of see the path that our pen is taking as we write. So for this one, we are starting high and going down. So I'm going to put a little arrow there just so that I can look back at this and remember it's starting high and going low. And then I'm going to use orange to code this color. So if you have an orange crayon or an orange highlighter, you can code this down curve with orange. And I'm just going to do like that. Okay, the next stroke that we're going to look at is called the undercurve. The undercurve starts low and goes high. I kind of think of it like when I'm throwing an underhand ball. I have my arm down by my side and I'm throwing upwards. So in this one, we're starting on the baseline and going up and it's slightly curved and we're stopping at the mid dotted line here. So we're starting low and going high. So it's a pretty simple stroke, but you'll use this a lot. Sometimes just to connect two letters, this will just be the line that connects one letter to another and then you make the next letter with it. So this is the undercurve, and then you can also start low and go all the way up to that top line. If you're doing capital letters, you'll sometimes use this. Okay, so that is the undercurve. And then we're going to put some arrows on this just so that when we look back at it, we can remember which direction we're going. I'm going to use yellow to code the undercurve. And then I'm going to do this one just like that. Now let's take a look at the slant line. Now a slant line is really just a straight line, but because it's cursive and everything slants to the right, we're not just pulling a straight line straight down, we're pulling it slightly tilted, just like that. So a lot of times this will be the line that you make when you're retracing something, like if you go up to make a T, you will come straight back down to get back down to the bottom line to make your letter connect to the next letter. So that's all it is. It's pretty simple. And then also you'll sometimes use it up high and you'll start up here and you'll come down. But usually you will be going up from the bottom with one of these other lines, and then you'll just be tracing back down in a slant line. Okay, so that's the slant. It's pretty easy. Oh, that line wasn't very straight. Okay, so I'm going to color code that line. Slant is going to be blue, and I'm going to put my arrows on there so I can remember which direction I'm going. I'm starting high and going low. Okay, the last line that we're going to be making is the over curve. In this one, you're actually starting low and going high, but it's different than the under curve. It curves the opposite direction. So we're actually going to start down here, and we're going to curve up like that. So we're starting low, and we're just going into a curve when we get to that line, when we get to that dotted middle line. So it's curving out a little bit. And some of these lines are a little easier to make when you're actually making them within a letter, because you're not just starting and stopping. But that's it. It's pretty simple. And then of course you can actually make that sometimes tall like this, and you're just going to be curving a little bit just like that. And sometimes I tend to add a little bit on here, because you're usually going to be connecting it with another letter, so it looks a little bit more like that. So sometimes you'll use this line just to kind of get your pencil, if it needs to be up high to make the next letter, so that you don't have to pick your pencil up. You will just go up with this line, and then you can start your letter however you'd want to. So this is how a C actually starts. So just like that. So I'm going to put an arrow here, and then I'm going to code this with pink, just like that. Okay, so you have learned the 4 basic strokes that you're going to make in cursive. So if you would like to see the next video, which is actually the first cursive lesson, you can click the link in the description below, and there's a paper that you can grab for that one as well. Thanks so much for watching.